Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad Rizky Aulia and today I'm gonna presentation my project 3 vocabulary building, transitive phrasal verb and transitive phrasal verb and case study. Transitive phrasal verb. The definition of transitive phrasal verb is a combination of a verb plus particle such as an adverb or a preposition that requires a direct object to complete its meaning. Grammar reference. According to Quirk, Greenbaum, Leach, and Starvik, a comprehensive grammar of the English language, a transitive phrasal verb is a verb plus verb particle combination that requires a direct object. Quirk et al. 1985. In this structure, the verb and particle from a single semantic unit and the verb phrase must take an object to be grammatically or semantically complete. Characteristic. Transitive phrasal verb are verb-particle combination that requires a direct object, often forming a single idiomatic meaning. They allow particle shift with noun object. The example is turn off the light, turn the light off. But pronoun object must come between the verb and particle. The example is turn it off, not turn off it. The particle is typically an adverb, such as up, off, out, on, and the verb plus particle function together as a lexicalized unit whose meaning cannot always be predicted from the individual words. The example is, first, she turned off the fan before sleeping. Explanation is, turn off is a transitive phrasal verb because it requires an object. The object, the fan, shows what is being switched off. And then, I pick up my bag from the floor. The explanation is, pick up transitive because it needs an object. My bag is the object that received the action. Example 3. They put off the exam unit next week. Until next week. The explanation is, put off require an object to complete its meaning. The exam is the thing being postponed. Fourth, he looks after his grandmother every day. The explanation is, look after is transitive because it must be followed by an object. His grandmother is the person being taken care of. That's all. Transitive phrasal verb. And the next, intransitive phrasal verb. The definition of intransitive phrasal verb is intransitive phrasal verb are verb plus particle then don't require an object. This means that after the verb and particle, a sentence doesn't need a noun or object to be complete. The example is stay up, cool down, hold on, speak up, come over. The linguistic theory. Argument structure theory, lexical semantics. In lexical semantics, every verb has an argument structure, the set of participants required by the verb. Transitive verb require an internal argument or direct object, and then the intransitive verb require no internal argument. Intransitive phrasal verb behave like normal intransitive verb. They assign no role, theta role to an object. Example is the plane took off. And then the next is case study. Concept. Linguistic explanation. In morphology, suffixion is a derivational process that modifies a base word to encode gender designations, usually reflecting biological sex or social roles. Gender-forming suffixes typically derive feminine noun from masculine bases. According to traditional grammar, example is Quirk et al., a comprehensive grammar of the English language. English gender marking is natural gender-based, not grammatical, meaning gender is tied to meaning rather than form. How gender suffixes can change the meaning of the base word. In English, gender suffixes such as s and ein are derivational morphemes. They derive new words from existing stem and add semantic information about gender. Adding these suffixes typically specifies a female referent versus a general or male referent. Change the sense of the base word from a natural or default masculine agent to a female specific role. Can introduce social connotation about the role or status of the female referent relative to the male one. The example is actor to actress. The suffix s signals female agent in acting. Hero to heroine. The suffix in similarly marks a female heroine figure. Waiter to waitress. Again, s signal the female counterpart of someone who wait tables. Morphological analysis of each examples. In the morphologic theory, gender compounds like this are formed through a derivational process. Basic morphological process are 5 pairs involved. A free morpheme base is actor, waiter, prince, host, and hero. A bound morpheme suffix s and in. Result, a new lexical item with distinct semantic properties. This process is derivational suffixing, which produces a new word, often with its own meaning and lexical category. Rather than inflecting the original word, it's different from inflection. The example is plural plus s, which does not change word class or core meaning. The example and morphological breakdown. Actor to actress. Actor, suffix s, meaning safe, agent becomes female actor. Waiter to waitress. The base is waiter, suffix is s, agent become female server. Prince to princess. The base is prince and then the suffix is s. The meaning is title become female royalty. Host to hostess. Base is host and suffix is s. Host role specific as a female. And then hero to heroine. Hero is the base and then suffix is in. Hero role specific as a female. How gender suffixation works theoretically, derivational morphology. Suffixes produce new lexical entries in the lexicon and often change meaning. They are bound morpheme attached to stems and can influence syntactic, before or lexical semantics. The suffixes here do not change grammatical category or item remains nouns, but they add meaning components female gender. This is a textbook example of derivational morphology. Empirical research supporting to the analysis. Gender marking come from derivational morphology. Yarovikova, 2020, described how modern English like grammatical gender but retains natural gender marking in specific lexical item. Notably, through derivational mechanism like suffixation, the paper traced how gender marking has evolved and argues the present from represent semantic differential rather than grammatical agreement. Sociolinguistic dimension, research on the suffixes and as, is, and other, show that feminine forms in English are mostly derivative of masculine bases. Some scholars argue that this morphology reflects historical and cultural attitude toward gender, where male forms are default and female forms marked. For example, Turnier, cited in research on gender morphology, notes that such suffixation is common but may carry implied social connotation because feminine nouns are derived variants of masculine nouns. That's all my presentation. Thank you.